analyst Brian Sobel with us. Brian, good to see you, and thank you for joining us.
Dave, good morning. A momentous night in California and across the nation.
Well, let's start, Brian, with the U.S. Senate. Adam Schiff, Steve Garvey are expected to advance. What does this mean for California voters?
I think the way that the election in November will break down is that Adam Schiff, who will enjoy a 2-to-1 Democrat advantage over the Republican Steve Garvey, really will have a pretty easy time unless some unforeseeable things occur between now and November, Dave. You know, Schiff ran a great campaign, but one that was bruising in the sense that he elevated Steve Garvey with perhaps up to $25 million and made Garvey a real opponent in the eyes of California voters. But at the same time, he tamped down the candidacy of Barbara Lee and Katie Porter. And I'm sure that there's some sore feelings today in those two camps.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to watch. Now, Brian, less than an hour ago, Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley announced she's suspending her presidential campaign. Did last night's vote results make that inevitable?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The Trump train started rolling actually weeks ago with the beginning of the caucus time, and then just continued to roll through last night. And when you pick up as many delegates as the former president did, it makes the job of an opponent, in this case Nikki Haley, impossible. And so she had to suspend her campaign. But, she did it as a fighter, as somebody who said, I want to bring issues to the American people and have the American people discuss them. And she did not concede to the Trump wing of the party. She fought it all the way to the end, as far as she could anyway. And today she suspends her campaign. And now it sets up, Dave, of course, the matchup between and a rematch up between Joe Biden, President Biden, and Donald Trump. And, game on.
Yeah, and let me quickly ask you before I ask you about that. Nikki Haley, do you expect her to endorse Donald Trump? What do you expect her to do next?
It's an interesting question. She was not treated well by the former president, and but in the interest of party unity, she said today that Donald Trump is going to have to earn the votes of people who did not support him and presumably supported her. We'll see over time. I would expect that, almost as we're speaking, that the Trump campaign is reaching out to the Haley campaign to see what they could do to bring her into the fold. I think it's going to take a few days because a lot of hurt feelings along the way. But again, I think those are the kinds of conversations that are probably going on really right now.
Yeah. Let's talk about November real quick. Biden, Trump in November for 2024. Will we see the same kind of voter turnout in November as we did in 2020?
Great question. I'm not sure. I think a lot of voters have Biden-Trump fatigue. They're not happy with either candidate. We know that from polling, anecdotally, empirically. We just know that this is not a race that is exciting the American people. So as we move forward, unless the president can really start generating some interest and Donald Trump some interest, I think we may see a lower turnout than we have in past years. I think a lot of people, Dave, may take a pass, frankly, on voting for either one.
Wow. Always good to listen to you. KTVU political analyst Brian Sobel. Brian, thank you for joining us this morning.
Absolutely. Have a great morning, Dave.
You as well.
All right, 7:39. Let's get